So let's water it down 100 years. We've really, I don't want to say the word dumbed down, but relaxed down our culture and filtered out our awarenesses of who we are. The Roaring '20s, what happened? We all got drunk.
Yeah.
We took off our corsets, we kicked up our heels, we got drunk and a little bit reckless. Right?
Right.
And then in the 30s, we were a little too reckless. We better reel it in because now we don't have any money. We blew it all in our parties. Right? And the fashion trend went with it. You know, things got a little bit more buttoned up again. The 40s, what do we do? Well, we're broke and now we're going to find a way to make money. Let's go fight people.
Right. That's huge.
So,
actually.
and then in wartime fashion, look what happened. Women started dressing like men. Acting like men.
Wow.
And going to do man's jobs because the men were at war. And our gender roles shifted. And I really think that that is an enormous sign of the times for what's happened to this time in our culture. There it was. That's turning point, if you ask me.
Let me ask you, let me hit check on that for a second, too, because my friend, you guys probably know Judy Ryan, she has this book about what it's like to be a true man. I can't remember the name of it. It was like the authentic male. And the point that the book made was we've melded so much of our roles so much that men are more wusses now, you know, and I'm a number one wuss here in St. Louis. And women are so much more masculine. You know, they're going out, they're bringing home the money, they're, you know, being stern with the kids. The husbands are more laid back doing this. And all that, Judy's going to be here, and we're going to totally dive into this conversation. But it's the unauthenticness, and it's the confusion of the energy, of the male energy, you know, the masculine energy, the female energy. We have it all in ourselves, but we're dominant, you know, typically.
I don't know if you're aware of this. I host a show on here as well called Sexy in St. Louis on Thursday evenings. And part of the reasoning behind that is because I want to empower women to be confident in their femininity, to allow themselves to be everything that it is that they are. No, it's no longer about competing against a man. It's about knowing that you can be who you are, be feminine, be empowered, and still do everything that it is that you want to do. So it really is, I think, a turning point. And what I tell people when I coach, one of the manners in which I coach is about conscious living, that we became so unconscious of what it was that we were doing, like you had just described in the, 100 years ago when you were writing, there was energy going into that writing that, scoot in.
Thank you.
We get too comfortable. We're not consciously doing a show.
I'm the luckiest guy in
But there's energy going around that writing. They were aware of it. They were there was an art to it. There was feeling that was going into it. So even when I talk about, whatever it is that you're wanting to change or transform in your life, just by choosing to be consciously aware of what that choice is, you become aware. I took a course with Bridget Kosner when she did a course called My Big Reveal. It was in 90 days, macrobiotic cooking and all that. What I learned, what I got out of it, is that all I wanted to know was that my food was being made with love. That was the easiest, simplest lifestyle change for me, was even when I choose a restaurant or what I'm ordering off the menu, because choices, you're limited sometimes. And I would say to the waitress, is it made with love? That was all I was requesting if my choices were that limited.
Awesome.
So it really is choosing to become more conscious.
So if you look at the work of Dr. Emoto, and those kinds of consciousness choices that we can make, the way that we cook our own food, the way that we receive food with love or gratitude, has every bit as much to do with what happens to its transformational quality in our bodies as the food itself.
Well, the one interesting thing about that is what occurs to me is when we were kids, we prayed before dinner, and it's except when we went out to restaurants, where we want to do that. Oh, look at those people praying, which I've done that now as a grown up, and I'm totally cool with it. But there was a reason people prayed over their food. and a lot of that I think some of that's disappeared. Now in my house we don't really pray, and we should, over food, but we do a little.
I'm going to pause you for a moment.
So,
why do you think you should? Because there's a belief there. Because there's a belief.
Well, that's a great question, because I think most people, and this goes right into religion, and Feliz Tozar he's a minister. He runs a Spanish ministry in St. Louis. Mm-hmm. He's going to be a guest on the show too. A lot of people are so hit over the head with the dogma of religion and certain religious praying and all that. People, in my estimation, it's just become pretty unpopular, going to church and praying and living that certain type of way. So I think people have gotten away from praying because it reminds them too much of religion. But I think the original intention of praying over the food is everything that you're saying, is you're blessing it, and there's a whole different energy, like Emoto's water freezing exercises, and we can talk about that in a little bit if you haven't seen that. But we literally, everything is energy. And so when we are praying over something or putting our intention on something, energy is moving and changing and shifting. And that's what praying over our food is doing. We're saying, thank you, God, thank you for this. And that's just a better vibration of just, instead of turning on, Laverne and Shirley and everybody sitting there watching TV while they're eating and not paying attention. Or worse yet, like I eat sometimes standing up, because I don't even have time. It's going up.
Well, that's the whole concept of what's happened to our speeded up multitasking culture, is that we try to fit too much stuff into a 24-hour period. We forget that life takes time, and you can't really sustain a lifestyle of fast food. And look at what happens to your body. Look at what happens to our planet as a result of growing food, in a way that isn't sustainable, and then producing food in a way that isn't sustainable, packaging it in that way, consuming it, and then throwing it away in that way. It shows up in our bodies, in our kids, in our ability to focus, in our ability to even comprehend where we come from. So if we could take a big step back from that warp speed, and look at what we could do each day to slow down, to live deliberately.
Yeah.
So how do you teach somebody who, because I get this all the time, I just don't have time. Can you give some examples of some baby steps that if you're sitting down...
Circle us back to the word commitment,
which
I love. David told me that this was the commitment show, and I was doing cartwheels. I love that word. I used to really be afraid of that word, commitment. Mm-hmm. Oh gosh, locked into one thing. Oh my gosh, there's so many beautiful things in the world. Why choose one? Mm-hmm. That's not what commitment means.
Right.
And so let's go to where we all love.
That's huge.
Passion. Mm-hmm. What can we get passionate about? We're all pretty passionate about living, us three in this room. I'm sure that everyone out there probably feels the same way. And what can we do on a very small level every day to baby step our way into a healthier lifestyle? I'm not saying we all have to chuck our Manolos and go become organic gardeners. That's probably not going to happen. Right? So what can we do? We have to think about every little step, First of all, we vote with our dollars. Money is energy, just like anything else. So organic food, grown sustainably, is a little bit more expensive than mass-produced food. So we're going to have to, first of all, if we don't want to go out and dig in the dirt, buck up. So find a farmer's market, find a farmer, get a CSA, which is a subscription to a crop grown locally by people who love what they're doing and grow their food with love. So there are so many opportunities for farmers markets and co-ops in this town. So you can even do little things at home to become more conscious about what you're putting into your body every day. First commitment is no more drive-through. I will never drive through for food again. And I can honestly say, I don't think I've gone through a drive-through of my own free will For probably 10 years.
Wow.
I can remember the last time I went through a drive-through in somebody else's car, and we were laughing about it. I just don't do it. I just choose not to do
there
fast
goes the
food.
McDonald's
I was
sponsorship.
If you look at my Facebook profile page, and I know you're my friend, you will see the funniest McDonald's.
Oh, I saw that.
Faux pas.
I love that. That was
Ever.
hysterical.
Well, and that goes back to the commitment, because it's hard it's difficult for a lot of people to make those, like, they would look at that and go, 10 years, don't eat fast food forever. Oh my gosh, that, what am I supposed to do when my kids have sports and we're running around and all this? But it goes back to how soon can you recommit every time it doesn't look possible.
There are levels of fast food.
Oh, exactly.
Right? There are 7 layers of hell as well. So if you really are aware of where the food is coming from, and you really decide, I care about this, and you're thinking about where am I going to get it and how am I going to make this easy. What I talk to with my own coaching clients about recommitting to healthy lifestyles is committing to making it yourself. Mm-hmm. And you got to plan ahead a little bit. I have someone in my life who never, ever plans ahead. By the seat of the pants.
Is his name David?
No, David actually does plan ahead a lot.
A little bit, yeah. I move my head a lot.
Gives us lots of heads up to be places so that we can drive like maniacs. So I was really impressed.
I have a garden too. I want everybody to know that. Maybe next week I'll take a picture of my garden.
I think that is a great idea. So let's go back to baby steps, because I know that we have limited time to talk about
and we're going to recap these steps too, because these are going to be good to. I'm writing them down because these should be something someone can repeat.
I'm working on a book to make this easy. I'm working on
a book on commitments,
a book on
a healthy
wellness lifestyle. Okay, step by step, really easy. It doesn't have to be hard.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to mean that, you are planning weeks in advance. I mean, you can go to that degree, certainly. I had a big life change a few years ago. I read a book about eating local, and I was thinking about, how green I'd like to be and how much trucked in food I'm consuming.
Wow.
And what's in it and where's it coming from and who grew it. And wow, I stopped being a vegetarian. Who knew? After 25 years.
Wow.
I decided that I would rather eat a locally grown chicken in the middle of winter in St. Louis when there are no vegetables to be had than a trucked in vegetable from who knows where with who knows what on it, even though it says it's organic. I don't know.
Right.
I wasn't there. So seeing is believing, and I really have made a big shift to my own commitment to be healthy and well. So let's just say for baby steps, everything in moderation. If we're moderate about what we do and what we consume, we can pretty much eat anything we want. That's sort of how we're designed. And the whole foundation of being fit in your body is the simple input-output. Calories in versus energy out. Pretty simple. We all know that. So something that comes out of a package, even a wrapper, thinking fast food burger, across the street from us, we don't know what's in there, and it comes out of a package. So we consume that kind of blindly. And what if the thing that we're consuming doesn't have a wrapper, it has a peeling, or a skin, or a shell, and then we know exactly what it is because it came off of a tree or a bush, or we dug it out of the dirt, or someone hopefully raised it and then humanely slaughtered it and brought it to our table. Maybe even us,
I'm not slaughtering a chicken.
So
I'm just not going to go do that.
Here's definitely something to think about, the way that we eat, and the consciousness of that degree of eating. I have a hard time imagining myself doing that too, even though I grew up on a farm where that happened all the time. Mm-hmm. So I can slaughter an egg, no problem. I got that.
Can I hitchhike a little bit on the thing that you're saying about? This goes back to the energy of things and really the spirituality of it and the preparation of it. going back to the praying idea, because I think